before we kind of wrap up our thoughts on the whole entire season, let's kind of shout out the guys who we know can't return anymore, and that's Bryson Williams, Adonis Arms, Marcus Santos Silva, and Davion Warren. Dustin, just kind of talk about them and the season that they had and what you're going to remember from these guys for, the effort that they put in this season.
Man, these guys put themselves right up there with Mooney and Tyreek from 3 years ago, and the transfer guys, that came in and had a huge impact. Because, Bryson became the staple of your team, cornerstone of your team. Adonis became your point guard out of nowhere. Davion was a starter for most of the season. And so, for three of those guys, who starters, and Silva with the hugest plays of the season, and defensively, what an amazing group. Adonis was my kind of, I hope this guy works out. I think at the beginning of our preview last year, when we did it, I was like, man, I really hope this guy ends out. I didn't really know what I saw in him, but man, this is everything I wanted from him. So I'm sad he can't stay one more year. I know Bryson's amazing, but if I had to pick one just personally, I would like Adonis. Bryson, I'm glad he came out of his shell that first month and got his footing, and man, he became such a reliable cornerstone for us. Just go ahead and put a 20 spot by his name almost every game. And I was impressed that Davion, went from being such an amazing scorer to one of our better defenders all year. It's a pretty great transition for a guy, So, yeah, they'll all be missed for sure. I'm glad Silva got 2 years out of it here, because we definitely needed him again this year. He was a great culture guy. I know you kind of talk about that all the time with teams, and you don't really get it as much with this transfer portal. These guys are moving around so much, but the fact that he was here last year and then was a guy that stuck around, came back, and he was your grit type guy all season. So it's gonna be sad to see all of them leave.
Yeah, it's tough. It's fun when you get these guys, but it sucks when you only get them for one season. And, Bryson, like you said, just how automatic he was, once conference play started. Yeah. It's definitely one of the best regular seasons by a Red Raider that you might ever see. Just how dominant he was. That Kansas game, even though he lost it, was such a legendary performance. Just the consistency he brought was awesome. And so, you're thankful that he chose us. Adonis, like you said, he was a big kind of question mark for everybody. We all knew he had some athleticism, but, we were waiting to see what it looked like on this level. And just completely amazed by what he was able to do. Kind of started off on the bench, and then, one of your favorite players down the stretch, a guy you relied on, a guy you trusted game in, game out. His Baylor dunk, of course, that will live on. Davion, like you said, buying in and not necessarily being relied on for his scoring, but for his defensive plays. And then Marcus Santos Silva just kind of being your consistent, holdover from last year. Didn't, could have pouted, could have been upset about not getting the minutes or not getting the touches offensively, but instead just put his head down and was like, I'm going to be as versatile a defender as I can, help this team in any way. And so you just kind of admire a guy who's able to do that. Sure. And so just all of them, you really appreciate what they were able to do. And like you said, they're kind of, they're legendary Red Raiders to me. And I'll look back on them as fondly kind of as I do Mooney and Tyreek and some of those guys who've come through just because the effort that they put in and the buy-in, and especially with the year that we had, with everything that went in before it.
Catch y'all at the next tailgate.